Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, joined by Jonathan Williams. He is the CEO of the American Legislative Exchange Council, alec.org/Hugh, if you want to get a weekly update on that. Jonathan, you're going to Indiana. I want to warn you, my friends in Indiana have been sending me all sorts of Indiana Hoosier propaganda since they won the national championship, and you might run into Margaret Fett from the University of Sewing.com. She's the one who does it. Are you ready to be regaled with Hoosier mania when you get there?
Hey, well, Hugh, you might have a new boogeyman. It might not be the Wolverines now. You got to watch out for the Hoosiers.
Well, we both do. Even you people from the team up north, we all have to worry about Kurt Signetti. But I want you to have good time there. You're going to hustle up with Mike Braun, the governor. What are you there to do?
Well, as you know, Governor Braun was a phenomenal U.S. Senator before he was Governor Braun, somebody that raised a lot of awareness around our national debt challenges that we have as a country. And that's what we're going to be doing, is talking about the new ALEC resolution that's based on Indiana Senate resolution, talking about really the national debt in terms of a national security challenge. We've seen, quotes from military leaders and others over the years to say one of our biggest challenges facing us when it comes to the pacing challenge of the CCP and just the overall military readiness is the national debt. As you know, Hugh, now we pay more on the interest every year of the national debt than we do the entire Department of War budget and defense apparatus. So this is something that needs urgent attention. And thankfully, under Director Vogt at the OMB and the Trump administration, they took what they inherited under Joe Biden, which was over $30 trillion of combined deficit projected over the next 10 years, and now have reduced that by a really incredible $13 trillion just in the first year of this administration, according to the new OMB numbers.
Now, Jonathan, we're at $38.7 trillion in debt. That's 100% of GDP. Have we ever been there before, even in World War II?
I mean, we're at World War II levels, essentially. I mean, right now, per taxpayer, Hugh, it's $355,000 for every taxpayer across the country. I mean, this is something that needs urgent attention. Thankfully, what we see at the state level every day is the men and women of ALEC are out there balancing budgets. 49 of the 50 states have a balanced budget requirement. We have great things in law like Colorado's Taxpayer Bill of Rights that we talk about that limit the growth of spending. But we've got to do something like that here in Washington, D.C. to change these incentives, which are all wrong, as you know, that go way back to the Congressional Budget Control Act in the 1970s. But that needs to get addressed. And thankfully, what we're seeing right now under the OMB and Director Vogt, we're moving the ball in the right direction. And you add that to this economic growth that we're seeing with the GDP numbers, that's something that's just absolutely incredible.
And inflation dropping. It's a good economic macro, but we still have this debt cliff, this debt overhang. I'll come back to that if we have time. I want to, though, talk with at least one person this week about the repeal of the endangerment finding, which came in 2007. The United States Supreme Court said, sorry, 5-4, nothing we can do about it. It's been repealed. This is enormous news, but I don't think the country has been able to focus on it because President Trump and EPA Administrator Zeldin did it in a week of enormous news. And it's just hard to explain to people, Jonathan, why it's so important.
Well, it is. And I think this is, according to Administrator Zeldin, who has just been pitch perfect talking about this in the last day. This is the largest deregulatory effort in the history of the United States. It's $1.3 trillion, and that's probably a conservative estimate of what it's going to save us. I mean, that breaks down to, $4,000 per every man, woman, and child in the United States in terms of savings. So talking about something directly getting to this issue of affordability that people left, right, and center are talking about, this is an incredible piece to get there. But the other thing about it, Hugh, that we find, I think, just really refreshing is this return to a discussion around who should decide the major questions of regulatory powers, and it relates to the economy. This is something in a long line of, the decisions on this, West Virginia versus EPA, Loper Bright, and others, to say, when we are talking about what's going to mean for climate regulations across the United States, viewers may disagree on that. I'm sure they do. but who should be deciding it is the more important question. It should not be unelected bureaucrats at the EPA. It should be the duly elected members of the U.S. Congress and the President of the United States deciding those questions. And so to us, it's a return to a proper constitutional balance of powers. That's something we're pushing at the state level and educating our legislators every single day on things they can do at the same spot that we're seeing with Reins level legislation at the state level and others. So we're so excited about this. And it's something, to your point, Hugh, it's a huge issue. Not enough people are paying attention to it, but it's going to add to this incredible economic momentum that we're seeing right now.
I'm trying to get Administrator Zeldin on next week because it is an enormous deal. Not surprisingly, the American Legislative Exchange Council ahead of everyone in calling attention to it. Safe travels to Indiana among all those Hoosiers, Jonathan. If you want to know what's going on in the states, go to alec.org/U, ALEC.org/U, or go to richstatespoorstates.com and read up on Indiana. Come right back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.